Good evening and welcome to Real Talk on SABC 3. The stage is yours. The year is 2003. Beyonce has the world going crazy in love with her first solo album. Madonna, Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera shock us at the VMAs with that onstage kiss. And rapper 50 Cent wins Artist of the Year at the Billboard Music Awards. But we're interested in far more important things because back here at home, a 7-man crew with their leading lady had South Africans losing their minds over their sophomore album, Mkuku Function. Well, their lyrics are rugged and raw, their style is described as street, and they introduced us to what being woke is before it became trendy. Over their 5-album journey, they would go on to perform on the same stage as Talib Kweli, Dead Press, and Black Thought. They bagged numerous awards, including SAMA's Channel O Awards and Metro FM's first ever Best Hip Hop Artist Award. They would then prove their indomitable prowess by influencing a generation of South African hip-hop stars who would follow in their footsteps. The most recent comeback has got everyone excited to see what they can deliver on. So please join me in welcoming Slicker, Sugar Smacks, Nemza, Boza, Nish, and Relo, the hip-hop sensation that is Skwatta Kamp.
Yeah.
How's it? But you're legends. Did that feel like they should have been a crowd going crazy?
That's the picture intro.
Oh my gosh, don't think like that. Don't think like that. But Relo, let me start with you. Because there was a lot of excitement. There's been lots of excitement about this comeback, this collaboration. The headlines even saying the big Skwatta Kamp comeback. Was there ever concern about the reaction and the reception that you would get? Because it's been 9 years.
Not really, because we've always been authentic. I think people miss that about Skwatta Kamp. They miss the reality and the realistic group that we were. And as honest as we've always been, they've just missed that. And the music that we've done, you can't compare with what's out there, really.
And we'll talk about that because I had to go back to some of my favorite hits, knowing that you're coming today, and I was losing my mind. So Nemza, just looking at some of the comments on YouTube, you know, the comment section, people say that the music is still so powerful today. So do you look back with a lot of pride about the message that you carried?
Honestly speaking, what happens now is based on the back of what we've been believing in and been building on since we've started this, you know. And I'm not gonna stand here and act like, yeah, I did you a favor. I'm not, you know, people are doing what they're doing and they're doing it well, and I'm proud of that, you know. But I'm also proud of the footprint that we've always had in the music industry. Yeah. And that on its own speaks for itself. I'm not gonna say nothing about it, you know, but I'm just proud of where it is today and from where it was in 1996. It's come a long way, you know? Yeah,
you cast a long shadow over the industry, and that is impressive stuff. But Boza, take me back, because there were pre-existing friendships when the group was, before it came together. Yeah. So how did it actually come together?
It's funny how it happened, because I was friends with Nemza.
Yeah.
We had a group called SAFTA back in Heidelberg.
Why are you laughing? Just that name, though,
What a name.
Yeah, and obviously Slick and Smacks have always been friends.
Yeah.
And Nisha and Flabba as well. You know, because
We had our own group. It was called Exorcism.
What are you exercising?
Hey, man.
Yeah, it sounds funny now.
Yeah, it sounds funny now.
Thought it had something to do with exercising, not satanic stuff. Get your gym thing from exorcism.
Exercise the lyrics.
Meanwhile, we're exercising a demon.
Yeah. So, yeah, Fleba and Nish were friends back then, Smacks and Slick also, but they had a group called Il Bread back then. And they then changed to Exorcism. And yeah, Infa was rolling on his own, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how the group was formed. Me, I think I met through a cousin of
Is Infa's cousin,
Yeah.
actually.
First cousin.
Okay.
Slicker was my cousin's friend. You know, so when me and my cousin were exchanging tapes, I was like, "Are you getting dope? You need to meet one of my
back
friends."
to the
you know.
tapes days.
So yeah, so I met Slicker through my cousin, and obviously they had us on YFM Repactivity Jam, and they decided, these guys, we need to form a group together. And
Nice.
basically, Skwatta Kamp was like, I think like 4 groups in one. You know, it was a clique. You know, yeah.
And
just
then, Relo, how did you get roped into all of this?
Sure. I actually met the crew through Infa.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Infa's sister was marrying my brother. And that's how, and he found out that I could sing, and I gave him some audition
demos.
tapes. And then he brought me to Slicker, and Slicker was like, yeah, we can work with that. We can work. And I'm like, you don't know. You don't know.
Is that good old-fashioned nepotism?
Exactly. Right there. And a touch of sexism as well with that reaction. But then, Slicker, all of this was happening at your house. You guys would come together and you'd be these kids making music. Did your mother, she must have been quite chilled, right? But did you think that it was just these kids fooling around, living out their hobby, or did she really see it as something serious?
Look, I think it was either going to be at Smax' house or my house.
Yeah.
It ended up at my house, right? So because me and Smax were getting the tools together initially, and but my mother was chilled. You know, there'd be like 100 people coming in the house. It's just that one day she'll hear us swearing, like when Manyisa came out, and she'd literally come to me. So you know, and then I would literally almost be like, like, then I'd hear her telling someone else, one of the guys in the group, but you know,
Slick is lying. He was like, ma, me, I'm not part of the song.
Yes, it's Faza.
Yeah, I want to lava. We hiding Alexander.
The explicit language thing was hard to get around. I think it took me years to give my father an album. He kept asking, I'm going to be album. I'll be like, yeah,
Why didn't you just play Landela?
you know
where
what?
you featured
That was
Arisa
before that. This
Morena?
was like during
In the early
politics.
days.
This was like the hard stuff. So one day he played it, then he came to me and then he just said, yeah, that's why I'm think my melody writing. Because it was buck.
By the time we were on Landela, we were semi-refined.
saved.
And we'd already maybe raped 1,000 curse words or 1,000,000 curse words. So we were clean that time. We were really in rehab by the time.
We were better.
You know, you just had to
Because
hear
you
the
look at
cursing
Cut
songs
and
at
Join with Rao Rao and Bomanyisa, that
yeah.
was on another level. It was on another level.
Yeah, just a story about Manyisa, because you know what people really take for granted. I mean, we had Zola, we had Amo, we had all the guys doing what they were doing, and it was always, even though they were rapping, it was always seen under the umbrella of Kwaito. But the interesting thing about Manyisa is that it was recorded like at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was Infa. Boza was recording because he does the chorus, you know, and I was asleep, asleep. And you know when you're sleeping and you're hearing the Boza, corruption, and then it goes to the chorus. I've never heard rapping like that in my life. I was half asleep, I woke up, and I think that started defining the vernacular rap. The way I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I think that was a sign of how everybody would wake up on how to mix English and vernacular together and still sound like you're still like a guy from the Ekasi, but you're influenced by this American thing.
Yeah.
So I think that was the beginning of that
mixing vernacular
I'd just
properly.
like to put
you know?
one disclaimer ukuthi avuka ngoyi-1 siyabonga ngoba lesirikhoda kini nomama wakho wavuka nobaba wakho wavuka.
But you know what?
The neighbor woke up, everybody woke up.
But you guys, I must say, you have the complete catalog. You know, from raising our spirits with songs like Landela to songs like Umoya, where you're beating your chest, or even the party tracks, you know. So you have an all-round catalog, which is absolutely impressive. Well, before the members of Skwatta Kamp came together to form the group, they'd been pushing individual interests in music. So it stands to reason that at some point, they were all going to go their separate ways at some point or other. Well, after the break, we're going to be talking about exactly that. Stay with us.
Unforgettable, Nat King Cole could be rocking this track. Comparable, none's available. Hence competition, I say to the congregation, for the snickers, told them try to clap. Skwatta Kamp missionaries, Rico spreading the word of spiritual rap. You can find our followers in the club somewhere which ping the shack. You can all be saved in heaven, we don't have a white or black. Sisters and brothers, if you feel the spirit, please clap. It seems the saviors of the beat have just come back.
Welcome back to Real Talk on SABC 3. The stage is yours. There are no better lyrics to describe the rise of Skwatta Kamp than Drake's "Started from the bottom, now we're here." After getting together in the late 90s, it took years for them to achieve commercial success. And at one point, they were even selling copies of their debut album, Cut and Join, straight out of the boots of their cars. But no sooner had they attained that commercial glory and their appeal skyrocketed, partly due to the surge of cross-cultural appeal of hip-hop across the globe. Well, fast forward to 2009 with 5 albums under their belt, and it was time for a change. Sure. So, guys, let's look at that moment, right? Was there a decision to stop recording and making music? Because after 2009, we stopped hearing from you. Nemsa?
Honestly speaking, it was a situation of we needed to be in the right space and the right mindset to do the music, you know, because there were too many things happening around us. But we've never really parted as a group.
Okay.
You know? It's not like Skwatta Kamp broke up, blah, blah, no.
But were there some people saying we still want to continue and others saying, aye?
Well, there's nothing wrong with doing solo projects, you know, and we've been supporting each other throughout that even, you know, but as far as the group is concerned, we just decided, let's just park the music for now. Let's just make sure the air is clear, you know, for us to get back in the studio with the same mindset, with the same enthusiasm that we are in at this present moment.
Right.
And the time is right, I guess, now, you
Yeah,
know?
artists always talk about that. You know, when the time
The moment
has to feel
it
right.
has to be right.
But take me through your process as well, because Nemsa, you seem like the anchor, because you often start the songs. Like, from the minute it starts, it's your verse.
It's because, like they say, I don't like meetings. You know, I just want to do things.
And we can't.
I just want to do things.
Let's just say it like this. If there was no other 6 people in the group and Nemza was on his own, all the contracts, they'll rip him off. Because all Nemza wants to do is, where am I going? I don't want to have a meeting. I just want to rap. Let's do the damn thing.
I just want to work. I just want to work.
That's all
You know?
Nemza does. Nemza, let's have a meeting. I'm a meeting. One. 40. You meeting done. I need to speak in the studio. But I was going to stick on the work, though.
But who's instrumental for the sound that you carved out? Because it's high energy, just the beats, it's like what you can call a really fat beat, and that's consistent throughout your music.
Okay, I can start on that and someone else can add. I think it's a situation of, because we share beats, you know, we're like, okay, guys, here are the beats. Whatever you got in mind, let us know, let's work on that. If I happen to come up with a concept and I share it and I obviously have a verse on it just because I don't want to explain for 2 hours, you know, a verse is just a straightforward situation.
And they must all follow your
Yeah,
lead.
so they get the idea. If they like it, they like it. If not, then we move on, you know?
Okay.
But it's always like that.
Yeah. So, yeah?
Sorry, it's highly democratic, right? That's the beauty with Skwatta Kamp and our songs. And that was another thing also, I think, in 2009 that made us stop a bit, is because we weren't spending enough time with each other.
Yeah.
So we were the guys who, if we hear that, yapet, you know, your lyrics are not dope, you got to rewrite that. We literally like our own kind of worst critics in the group.
Were there donations? Would you donate lines to each other?
No,
Help each other perfect the verse?
It's either you write, sometimes like, you know, you'll get a guy like Silo where there's a song like Dali Mawaza, The rest of the group was like, we love it. But still was like, he's not on the song. It got a video. He was there holding flowers on the video. We're like, you know what I mean?
Democratic.
That's how democratic it is. It's like, you said you don't want to be in the song. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So it really works like that. But with regards to the sound and what one person has said, I was playing one of the new artists, one of our songs, and he was like, in fact, I was listening to the songs while they were being made in the demo. 2 people said it. And they're like, I less is Skwatta, less, you know? So it's almost like as a team, we develop a sound because we always like criticking each other
Right.
with regards to the output. you know?
Right.
Yeah, for me, when you're talking about being authentic and not worrying about the current situation, the current sound, you know, only worrying about what's happening currently in the country, what's affecting people. That's what Skwatta Kamp has
And
been
you've
throughout the
remained
years.
so true to that. When you think of the messages in the songs, it's powerful. Like from Cuckoo Function, it's just so uplifting.
Yeah.
Building Castles, for instance, I think is one of those get up and go songs.
Literally, I think I would say the first time we made headlines, you know, as a group was based on a song called Politics.
Yes.
That was, you know, that had, you know, that's when Slick was talking about, you know, the president's private jets at the time, everything that
What
people
was
are
Never
like.
saying, why are you going to make me
Oh,
like
and
now you
Flabber
want
and
the
everything.
politicians
Yes,
to
no,
hate
but
me?
I'm just saying that like at a time whereby it wasn't fashionable to be, as you said, woke or whatever. You know, we were talking about things that we were seeing in our community. You know, at that point in time. You know, and then going on to songs about women abuse, songs about
Yes,
you know
Child
hope,
Queens.
you know, songs about friendship, songs about child abuse. From every different topic, we've tried to just attack it, and from tourism or writing concepts as crazy as Animal, where we picture ourselves, you know,
Yeah,
in an
yeah.
animated space.
How about Turbo?
You know, and then we got a new song now called Turbo. You will find that out.
Oh, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out.
homie.
But
Just to add-
I want to reflect now on these past 9 years and just the space that the gap that not being together anymore has left. Has that adjustment been hard?
Yeah, it has been. It took us a couple of years to actually cement this thing right, you know. And then the passing of Flower just made it worse. You know, it's just when we got it right, and then that hit us, and then we took another step back. Like, okay, let's readjust. Let's see how we can do this. Obviously, the gap is going to be there, but let's try make it in a way that. As if it's still, as if Flower is still there, you know what I mean? Like you don't feel the gap, but it sounds
Also not
as
trying to
authentic
replace
as it's always been, you know,
Yeah.
because we don't want to replace him either,
Yeah.
you know, and we don't want to exclude him either. So we just want to make sure that it's still as smooth as it was before. you know?
We have a voice note for you guys. You know that this is interactive. You can also send us your comments and questions via Twitter, or you can do so on the WhatsApp line. So here's a voice note. Check it out.
Hi, Skwatta Kamp. Hello, guys. I have just one question. Now that you guys are back together and you're going to release an album, can we expect a young Fill Up the Dome, Fill Up FNB, something, you know, a young concert?
You know, we like one of the things that where the game has gotten right now is that the music is really secondary. You know, it's the business of behind the music. So I think what we're getting to right now is planning around how we want to get things, speaking with various people to kind of build things. So although the music is easy to do, sometimes just like getting the business, getting the right people to see your vision is something that you still need to do. So I think as a group where we at, we'll drop songs, but like what's very key for us right now where we at is like saying, so what's the business behind it? Because really today, there's music is, anyone can make music, you can stream music,
My
whatever.
12-year-old's making music.
Exactly, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So we're saying, you know, I mean, what is the business? We've got a rich story that actually has a very strong nostalgic touch to it. The fact that, like, when we look at even the world of marketing, the world of brands, it's either they speak to like super young people or super old people. But, you know, we the new age kind of middle-aged people where, like, I don't think brands have woken up to the fact that we carry such a rich history.
Yeah.
And the people who were our age at this time, like when we were big, their history was an apartheid history. So there's a joyous history that like Skwatta Kamp actually carries that I'm surprised at how much you
Losing
like
my
know
mind
the
that
stuff.
you're
You on point with your questions because it's something that a lot of people can go, wow, we haven't been there in a long time. And I think business is missing that opportunity of actually speaking to this generation of people like our age.
In
who
an
actually,
authentic way,
who-
absolutely.
yeah,
we can
you
hear
know what I
that
mean?
entrepreneur, that business person,
Yeah.
the marketer in
You know
coming
I'm
out.
punting out here right now.
But another
next
side
thing that's
effect
coming is the phone
of
number.
Skwatta Kamp going their separate ways was that it allowed them to enter new phases of their lives. So after the break, we're talking relationships, marriage, and children. Stay with us.
He's a low African king or maybe a president, lost in this world full of pain and greed. He wishes he was born with a silver spoon. So if it's not today, then let's make it soon. Don't they remind you of you and me, filled with hopes and dreams? Still gonna go through their teens, figure out what love means, but it seems every day try to take it away. Sex, crimes, and hate, abused or made slaves, childhood thrown away. In parks that can't play, get raped and slain. Let your last name live on with a blazing flame. Give them sunshine smiles, not tears of rain. We're the kings and queens of tomorrow. We're the kings and queens of tomorrow. Love them so they can also follow. Make noise for the kings and the queens.
Welcome back to Real Talk on SABC 3. Nish has joined us.
Voila.
Oh, thank you for
Salabim,
joining us,
salabum.
Nish.
I'm over here.
Yes, this is the time to arrive.
Unfortunately, Joburg traffic, you know.
And you've known this for how long, that Joburg traffic can be bad?
And
All
I
your
don't know
life.
what
Ever,
happened
ever?
today, but I'm sure there was an accident or
I
something.
apologize
But
to our
I
viewers.
left.
Apologize.
I apologize, people.
Nish is here, everybody.
This happens.
So what happens then, or what's happened over the past 9 years while Skwatta Kamp were on hiatus? That's what we want to know now. So let's just say there've been lots of hookups and breakups along the way. Relationships have blossomed and they have led to quite a few traditional weddings, white weddings, and lots of bouncing babies all over the place, right? So we want the personal life now. So Rilo, I read in an interview where you said that the time that you spent with Skwatta Kamp made certain aspects of your life suffer, like relationships and time with family. And then after the 5th album, a year went by and you met your husband.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't date.
So what did you
During
think of that
Skwatta
double
Kamp,
standard? Because they were
there
having
was-
groupies all over the place. Did that
We weren't
frustrate you?
dating groupies.
It was frustrating, but how could I keep up a relationship if I was hardly not ever there?
Yeah.
You know? So I kind of took a decision to just separate myself from the dating life
Yeah.
and just remain single, you know? And it was the best decision I took because after that, when we started phasing out a bit, it was then I wrote down all the qualities I would have wanted in a guy, and even from complexion to hair to, I went into detail.
Manufacture.
And I
think that's not Skwatta Kamp.
Exactly. I was like, I know 7 characters of a man, and I don't want none of these.
I'm the boss here.
Yeah.
And it worked out for me. It worked out perfectly.
And you went into business, so it's great. Those opportunities opened
Yeah.
up after that, which is great.
Definitely.
But Boza, we also read about your choice and decision to follow your spiritual calling. Tell me about that.
I think that was one of the hardest things I've ever experienced in my whole life. Because I think through that I found purpose, you know, and who I really am. Because a lot of things were happening in life. I think one of the things, I think I had an album back in the days with the guys, Bo Smacks, which was Bada Pink back in the days, which was supposed to be released, like highly anticipated. But it never happened, you know, and like some of the things that happened in life actually took that direction. When things are about to happen and we hype them up and you work hard and they don't happen, you know?
Yeah.
So I realized that there's actually something that's missing in me, you know, that I'm actually trying to chase it out there and trying to find it where it's not available or it's not existent, you know? So I started looking into myself and I realized that I had a history, you know, there are certain things that I had to follow and
Yeah,
do.
follow Tati's
You know,
path.
not for myself only, but also to take that torch from somebody and actually carry the light for the whole family.
Yes.
So yeah, big
Transformative
responsibility,
thing, hey?
crazy,
Very
amazing
transformative.
experience. But I'm glad. I feel good. I actually feel like a human being in my body. You know, I actually
Complete.
also at times feel like I'm carrying a lot of souls, which is it makes me a lot stronger and powerful at difficult times.
Yes, I see siyathokoza gogo. So, Nimza, are you the last man standing? As in the singlehood states. Do you ever get that pressure?
No, honestly, I don't feel the pressure because me and my partner, we know what we're going to do at what time, when things are right, you know? And throughout my life, I've never been a person who succumbs to pressure or peer pressure, if you want to put it like that, you know? I do things at my time when they suit me. And sometimes I do things before other people do them and they think it's premature, but for me, it's right, you know? So, yeah, I'm not under pressure with anything, you know? I'm cool.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. I'm sure, bro.
How fast is that heart beating? So, Nish,
sure,
you're a big boss now,
Yeah, you can say that. No,
running your own business.
no, not in my own
Boss dog.
business. I'm in the corporate environment, so
Okay.
yeah, I was able to climb up the corporate ladder somehow. I did it, but as
With your rhymes,
a rapper,
with your poetry.
yeah. So yeah, I'm up there. I'm not a boss. I'm a manager. Boss owns the company. Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
And how's that transition been? Because people who've always worked in entertainment get so accustomed to it, and the skills are very unique to the entertainment industry.
Yeah, I mean, I started in the corporate, then I went into the industry. So for me, going back, it was very easy. I had the education plus, I mean, it was easy, except for the fact that I had to explain to people, what am I doing here? Aren't you supposed to be a celebrity? Aren't you supposed, you know?
Drop a few bars for me quickly. Do people say that to you in the lift?
Yeah. I'm like, mind your business.
But Sugar Smacks and Slicker, you guys have worked together since 2009, right? So there was a point when you were managing Slicker.
Yeah, together, you know.
You're still in Bada Bing
Yeah, but
Entertainment.
we've had two companies together, one being Ventilation Productions, which was our marketing agency. We started in 2006.
Yeah.
You know, since then, I've gone on to form Mecca, which is the marketing and entertainment communications agency, and Slick's gone on to, run Slicker on Life, you know.
Yes.
And then, of course, then with Bada Bing Entertainment since 2002, whereby, of course, we've managed Bonang, Questa, Tito, ourselves, and our solo careers at the time and so forth, you know, and, and everybody, you know, but like, yeah, so that was basically, that's our story, but now doing our own thing, and I think collectively, I think people don't understand. We've got about 18 albums between us as a group,
Wow.
you know, because you're talking about actually like I'd say with our first underground album, it would make it like 6 full Skwatta Kamp albums, 5 commercially released. The one that wasn't with the Skwatta campaign. Then you've got Nemza with like 3 albums now.
Yeah.
Boza with 2, Slicker with 3, Relo with 1.
Yeah.
You know, myself with 2, Flabber with 1 as well. I think, yeah.
Right.
You know, so I mean,
Nish with a photo album.
Nish with a photo album. You know, so I mean,
Share the story.
this is yeah. So there's been a lot of music, you know, that we've taken out, and I think at the time there's also a case of, you know, when we dropped the last album, it was, also our solo careers were also doing their own thing, and
Yes.
they were also, you know, peaking and everything. Relo's had smash hits all over the show as well.
Yes, and I actually hope that there's an academic young person out there who looks at your body of work and applies academic thinking to it so that we can have a beautiful review and analysis of your contribution to the music industry.
Because Flabber won a summer, you know, on his own there for his album, and then numerous award nominations still for all of us. So
Yeah.
somebody gotta write this down,
Exactly,
or maybe
to
we'll just do
document it.
Maybe we'll just do a TV show
Why
about
not?
it.
Yeah.
Slicker, a quick one from you, because you started the hip-hop content hub, Slicker on Life, and it's doing really, really well. You've become so credible and an authority on what's happening in the industry, the go-to place. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy, you know, for me. I'm not a rapper. I've never been a rapper. All my relationships with everyone here was because I except Rilo, was because I collected music. Collected music, I put it in a box, and everybody was like, yo, he's got the rap stuff. You know, even Smacks lost my Dr. Dre tape, and I wasn't going to speak to him for a while, because finding rap tapes back in the day was a mission. You know, I was mad at this guy, for real, for a long time.
Yeah.
But, like, I literally was collecting music.
Still mad.
You know?
It is therapy.
Yeah. But what's happened though is that I used to do it in the hood and in a box. And what Slick on Life is now an online platform where I'm now not giving music to guys in the hood or to my friends. Now the whole world can actually tap into it.
No, it's a
So
great
so for me, speaking to what Boz is saying, my spiritual journey was like, go back to what you love. Go back to what you really care for. Because, you know, you've been told that you're the slicker guy. You've been told that you have so much access. You've been told that you're this.
Yeah.
But, like, really, who are you? And who I was just a humble fool who just loved collecting music, listening to music, telling other people, did you listen to that? And that's really Slick on Life in its most humblest form, which fortunately has been able to open up doors with various businesses also and do different things from a marketing perspective.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so the 9 years have definitely been quite busy. Well, it's almost time for us to wrap up the show. Oh, what a pity. No. Chalo. Well, there's definitely no denying that a big contributor to the fact that Skwatta Kamp are even sitting here with me today is because of their tributary offering to their late member, Nkululeko Flava Habedi, which is why at the end of the show, you'll get to hear their newest single titled There You Go, dedicated to him. So after the break, we're remembering Flava. Stay with us.
Flava, Le Miser, Dinganga, in your house. Let me be your superhero. I wanna be your superhero. But let them be your superhero.
Welcome back to Real Talk on SABC 3. The stage is yours. On March 9th, 2015, Skwatta Kamp had no idea they'd be waking up to a day that would forever change their lives. News publications and networks quickly became flooded with the unbelievable reports of the passing of Nkululeko Flava Habedi. Celebrity tributes poured in, Alexandra community members reeled in shock, and Sindisiwe Manele was charged and convicted for Flava's murder. 3 years on, and the hip-hop group are now paying homage to their fallen colleague, brother, and friend. Guys, I'm sure it's still hard just to reflect on the fact that Flava's no longer around. Where were you when you heard the news?
I was sleeping.
Yeah, actually, I was sleeping too.
We were all sleeping.
Yeah, because it happened in the early hours of the morning.
Yeah, because Slick called me at 6 in the morning, and I was sleeping, you know. And I'm like, this guy must be crazy. Because Fly was not the type, you know. You know, he's not that guy, you know.
Yeah,
You know,
but
I actually hung up on him, and then I sat on the bed. I'm like, what's this guy talking about?
sure.
And then I called him back, and then he's crying, and I'm like, oh, okay, clearly this is real.
No, I got a call from his brother. It was around 4, 4:30, and I woke everybody up. You know, it's that call where I've had a lot of people have passed away, but I never ever felt so like torn. I woke everybody up, and everybody was like in shock in the house, like, what's going on? What's going on? And I couldn't even explain to them because I was still. And you know, people were like, so what happened? What happened? I'm like, I
couldn't process it.
Yes,
It's one of those things that are hard to digest. You know?
Yeah.
Also, for me, I think, I think I received a call from Flava. I think.
Flava?
Yeah.
The night before.
The
actually,
night
they were
before. I
performing.
think might be like 6 hours before he passed. You know, and he swore at me. You know, I was like, why ungezi tweet? You know, I'm like, angeza prawami is like, ngeke uze ngiyazi islima wena. Islim. La. I think that's the last thing he said to me. And
Oh, my
then
goodness.
before I could even respond, he hung up.
Yeah.
Then the next thing that happened, the next thing I remember, Slick called me in the morning, 6 hours later, telling me about his passing. So for me, I was stuck between the two moments,
Yes.
thinking, is it real or it's just one of those pranks? Because it's possible with the Skwatta guys, trust me,
No, not a
do
funny
something
one
like
at
that.
all.
So
But-
it was really painful, and I think because he was laughing at me, saying, "When are you gonna have a baby? You're about to get to your 40s now." And I think I was a couple of months pregnant, and I hadn't told anybody yet.
He was pregnant, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, we were pregnant.
Yes, they were
This guy
pregnant.
does amazing things. I
Yeah.
told you. He changed the
But-
vernacular rap
But
in
you
this
know,
game.
guys, with the gruesome way in which he lost his life, were there ever feelings of bitterness?
Not from myself, because I knew how much he loved that girl, Young Twala. So either it was a mistake. I couldn't believe that she did that. I actually thought it was someone else, only to find out it was her. So being bitter, no, I'm not bitter.
Okay.
I
I'm
think
at
more
ease
than
with it.
anything, we've always tried to, not to get into the middle of things too much, get involved with the media about the case and all that, We didn't want to be part of that mishmash, you know. We just wanted to take care of the situation with the family and make sure everything is okay, because it's done, It is what it is,
So what was it about the 3-year mark? Why are you ready now?
I think it's like, to be honest, I mean, I know Slick touched a bit earlier about getting the marketing and other things ready or whatever, but for us still, besides the album, even when we had to do the song for Flabber, it's always about the music. And as we say that, in the 9 years, people might think we weren't talking or we're on an island. No, we
In each other's
speak
lives,
regularly
yes.
in each other's lives. I mean, we
WhatsApp
still throughout those years, we've been performing as well, you know,
Yes.
so it's not like any of that stopped. But we needed to make sure that we're in the right space to deliver good music,
Okay.
So we could have all rushed to studio and do a song for Flabber and see Keep and then, but it's like, at the end of the day, when we do this, we do this for him as well, and it's his legacy as well. So we got to make sure that we go about things the right way. So we
Right.
needed to make sure that the music was right, that the time with us spiritually was all right. It took the time for us to connect, to say, all right, let's drop other things and let's focus on Skwatta Kamp.
Now, I'm going to cram a lot in this, in the minutes that we have left. And let's start with this voice note, because it speaks about the sound that you are coming back with and plans for an album. Let's listen.
Hi, Anzan and Skwatta Kamp. I just want to ask if you're still gonna stick to your authentic sound, or you're gonna try and adjust to the new sound.
One is, can we expect an album and also the sound?
I think that definitely we getting in, doing what's natural, and what's coming out is what we're really familiar with. The one thing Skwatta Kamp does well is songs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you hear there you go. That's why I wish people could hear. The songs are great.
It is.
Let's not even look at
It is.
like sound. If we do something new, it's because it's going to be great.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm straight. You know what I mean?
Great.
If we do something old, and there's no such thing as old because it's a Skwatta Kamp sound, it's going to be great.
Okay.
And Lebo just touched on that like we had to take care of the men and women that we are before we went back into the studio and we just made songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But let's talk about Infa, because you have said that you're not sure what his reasons are for not staying in the group, but he's made it clear that he's not going to be a part of music going forward. What are his reasons? Did you ever get clarity?
Eventually.
Everybody looking at everybody.
Who's going to break the news?
Look. Eventually, yes, we did meet, and only like a couple of weeks ago, believe it or not, because we were shocked when everything happened, So I mean, yeah, we did get clarity, Essentially, it boils down to that. It's where we are and what he's doing, he wants to go
Solo
creatively and spiritually and with his own path, his life path. He wants to take that another way, and we're busy, doing this,
Yeah.
So I mean, for me,
You have his blessing, he has your blessing.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that safe to say?
he's got our blessing,
Yeah.
He's blessing us for anything.
You're going to be performing the song in a short while, because we're out of time, and I want to attend to this
The
quickly.
key thing with
Yeah.
Skwatta Kamp is that we're friends.
Good.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Right? And we brothers, most importantly.
And a sister.
And a sister.
And a brother too.
Yeah, but the bottom line is that the friendship has to literally come before the music.
Okay.
And I don't think that the friendship was at a depth enough for Chaba to say, I want to be around my friends and create around them. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. Because forget the music, forget what we hear. The bottom line is that we're friends. And we just connected.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Got
From
it.
an old time.
Definitely got it.
I mean, it is what it is.
There were two
Boo-boo,
versions of the song recorded. We'll
Yeah.
get to hear one of them after the break. But I want to say a big thank you to all my guests today. Slicker, Sugar Smacks, Relo, Nemza, Nish, who finally made it, and Boza. Tomorrow on Real Talk, we're going to welcome American R&B sensation Kenny Lattimore onto the show. He's known for a smooth and soothing voice, and Lattimore is in the country to commemorate Freedom Day celebrations as he headlines the Soulful Night Experience, taking place at Times Square Arena in Menlyn. So after the break, Skwatta Kamp perform There You Go. Stay there. Welcome back to Real Talk on SABC 3. The stage is yours. Greatest rapper of all time. Passed away on March 9. Yeah, that's Biggie, that's Flabba. See, the stars are aligned. These are just some of the lyrics shared in Skwatta Kamp's song as they dedicate their newest single to Nkululeko Flabba Habedi. Now, they've kept us waiting for 9 years, but they promise a new album is coming soon. So here they are to perform There You Go. Please welcome Skwatta Kamp. We'll see you tomorrow.
This one's for my brother. Oh yeah. R.I.P. boy. Yeah, child is born when a man dies, 360 cause and effect. Good books are written by the fate of good men. We struggle to survive, only to die the next day. Proceeds go to kids and mothers with black outfits. Dwana, your dream was your daughters in Ivy League schools, so we get paid and dividends feed that Alex dream. SK proves and shows brothers by all means live and die by the code, the rest is smoke screen.
So mega my dash. Nabantu abanice ukuthi thina masifika simane sibe right. Hlanganisa mageng uphinde ukhonse down. Ulise labo gazi nabo khokho lawo. Ngokuphathela ama-black, I'm sure yakuhlaba la. I've got a baby girl now, bathufana now. Namagenge siyapusha senza umrakara. Yenza show mangifika ngiphethe umjakajaka.
Willie Abedi, Alex Thoroughbred, Stabumba, Flower, Inja again. He used to go by the name of Hound. I had to introduce his talent to the world. Ain't the whole. Legacy will stand the test of time. Through the bloodline of brotherhood and the seeds that you left behind. Go bar, baby.
Yeah, watch us from heaven. I wasn't ready like Tevin. If history's honest, this rap game has to hold you as a legend. Greatest rapper of all time, passed away on March 9. Yeah, that's Biggie, that's Flabba. See, the stars are aligned. Imagine you, Puck, Biggie in heaven in a cipher. I'm sure you're still cursing. So let me pour this black label, cause I know you're thirsting. To God we apologize, the group's still hurting. Your daughter, mother, brother, son, still hurting. This rap game will never ever see another version. FLA double B, Flabba. I miss you, my brother. Till we meet again.
Yo, this is deep though. Makunju kalaku. Kungosi yami ayikwazi iphathi ngibona ngikhala futhi. Qiniso lihlala ku. Future was colorful. Yakuvulela amazulu but wahamba ngingakavumi na. Dog, uhamba ingoma ingakathuli. Struggling to find closure nomlila ngakawubuli. But boy bowungikhoja. Ritloba bahumi. But now I'm left alone. Ngikhala usizi njengembuzi.
There you go.
time, Baba. Told you that while you were still alive, Mayor of Gomorrah. It's the love for the raps that gave us life. I cut quick to the night just before March 9th. We shared your last show together, that's sweet. You always showed me I'm a rapper that you feel. So I'm fired, I still squatted to the death, and there's tears in my eyes till we meet again, my friend.
Where you